Hey Hannah, what's up? It's Jess. I got Pat here over my shoulder, and we're checking in with you more than anything so that you could have an opportunity to see for yourself and kind of appreciate what this process looks like behind the scenes a little bit. And what I mean when I say that is, assuming that this isn't the first and only offer we'll make, although those aren't our intentions when we write this. More than anything, because this process is something that is dynamic, and it's an art form, but there's also a science to it as well. So let's roll credits and get into this. All right, so our goal is to identify what the correct purchase price is going to be for your offer, right? And first and foremost, you want to make sure that when you're scrubbing down the comps, you're only pulling from your target market, okay? So a great trick to do that is not just rely on the zip code, is to actually drop a dot in the center of the rooftop of this house, pull it back about a mile like you've seen that we've done here. And when Pat and I did that, what we noticed is that there's a small little group, nice little healthy group of about 10 homes that popped up. Now, most of them, as you can see, are active, and that's not going to tell us too much, right? Because we really want to derive the activity that's actually taking place, and this would come from the pendings, which are the ones that are already in escrow, right? And then the solds, the ones that have already gone to sale in the last 90 days. So when we aggregate this in a comparative market analysis, and this is typically what you and I will use to communicate values like this, us three, is you'll see them broken up into a minimum of these three different categories. Here's the actives. And you'll notice on average, the actives are about, what's the square footage on this one?
I think it's 1406.
Right, so actives are a little smaller, and that's to be expected because I got to believe that with your extra half bath and the fact that you're wielding the 2-car garage, you're going to be on the tall end of the spectrum as far as these comps are concerned. And from that's true, it's just a flat 2.2 on average here, 1353, and trailing for about 270 and some change right now for active price. The only one that's in contract right now is 275 on the dot, and we'll get to that in a sec. And then here's the solds, and the solds trail at about the exact same pace with about 277, and that's healthy too. A, because the square footage count is actually lower, right? And B, that again, yours is bigger and it's got the extra half bath. So this is a nice, healthy sign. And I got to tell you, from all the different properties I see across the county, this homogeny right here of only a spread of what, not even $8,000 from the highest to the lowest point, and that's typically what it was. Actives are usually the most, solds are usually the least. That's a very healthy market. So let's take a look at some of these comps individually. So right off the bat here, you'll notice this is actually like a model match. We've got our 2, 2.5, 1406, right? This is the one that was in pending for 275. So no shock or surprise that they were basing, the REO asset manager was basing their price off of this exact comp. And the fact that it's a short sale and it's been the market for almost 3/4 of a year, that's obviously what they were basing that number off of. So you'll see there's a hardwood floors on this. The kitchen's updated. It's nice. Got probably a dark granite there. It looks like countertop. Updated kitchen cabinets. The lighting fixtures are touched. They painted the walls. The wood accent on the stairs. Pat was telling me yours was carpeted. Not much on the bedrooms, but they cedared the closet. Again, and the same theme that they did in the infrastructure they already spent the money on for the kitchen, they followed suit up in the bathrooms. Overall, Pat was saying you guys had build-outs in the garage, so a little bit of a value upgrade there, but for an appraiser's perspective, that's not going to really amount to much, and then this is all your common stuff. So for that being a model match and for being 275, okay, let's see if we can draw any inferences from the solds. So here's one that's a little bit smaller that sold for 285. This is only a 2.2, 1256. And if I remember correctly, I think this only had the 1-car garage, right, Pat?
Yep.
Yep. So it's nice, though. I mean, they spent some money on there. That tile, though, in the kitchen hasn't been touched. It's got the hardwood floors. Not too bad. Here's another dinker. Only a 2-bedroom bath and a half and only 1288. But the inside's nice. They did a good job keeping this one up. The pictures show it well, but from a perspective of infrastructure, not much value there that an appraiser can sink his teeth into. Again, and here's another a great example of where you can find your truth of your condo and the appropriate pricing in this one. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1471, so a little bit bigger, but sold for 275, and they don't even have shots of the inside, which leads me to believe, well, the inference you can make anyway is that there wasn't much to show. So there you have it. Now, we took the time to actually talk, call up, and we have a little conversation, a little quick chat with the listing agent. And a couple points that we need to know about before moving into the next part of this game. First of all, there's an offer in front of you. And while he was not at liberty to share what exactly the number was, Pat and I used our creative languaging to mine out that it's a little bit lower than what the asset manager wants. It's probably just an investor who's spraying and praying out there to see what kind of luck they can get. Probably not too pot committed, and hence the reason why they haven't jumped on the offer yet. But he was nice enough to suggest that it wasn't that far off. So it's not like we're going to get away lowball on this thing. The truth is, I think that the price, the billboard price that they're suggesting right now is already building in the incentive you should have. If you stole that for $275, I think you'd be pretty stoked. So you already remember we said we don't like overpaying for things, right? We want to make sure we secure the best deals. So my suggestion is going to be this. Let's see if we can get away with not only securing that as the price, but try to see if we could squeeze an extra $5,000 out of them in the process. Okay? So Pat and I are going to draft up your first offer on Mission. What is it?
Mission. No, actually, we're on Rancho Mission.
Rancho Mission. I'm staring down Mission Gorge right now. We're going to draft up your first offer on Rancho Mission for $275 and try to steal $5 back. Really, the net offer would be $270. It's definitely worth $275. We saw some smaller dogs in here that were going for at least that much. And see where that sits us with our competition. So best of luck to you. We're going to fire this off after you, as well as your first offer with the buyer's blueprint. Okay? So congratulations, Hannah.